Hello, I'm Michael Glass from michaelglass.com, where we make informed decisions about our financial future. This is our Forex technical analysis video update. Before we begin our video, we always like to start off with our disclosures. Any symbols that you see today should not be inferred as a trader recommendation. No matter what form of investing you choose, stock, forex, futures, option, they all have a level of risk associated with them. You can lose all of your money. Any strategies we show today are for informational purposes. Future results are not guaranteed. And finally, any investment decision you make is solely your own responsibility. Trade at your own risk. As we said, this is our Forex technical analysis video update. In each of our videos, we will review the prior session's price action to come up with key support and resistance price levels. We'll look at the crude and gold charts to come up with leading sentiment. We'll come up with a low volatility watch list, an inside bar watch list, and we'll have an economic calendar update to see what could affect our future and open trades. And finally, if there's time, we'll have an education spotlight at the end. Let's pull up the charts. On our weekend videos, we want to go ahead and take the moment to kind of introduce a new little quick portion of our video here, where we're going to focus in on the dollar, because the three major pairs that we're looking at, the euro dollar, the pound dollar, and the dollar franc, all are based upon the dollar. We thought it'd be important to go ahead and start sharing the individual dollar currency chart. And we can see, anybody that's watching the U.S. stock market knows that it's been a great October. Well, there's an inverse relationship between the dollar and the stock market. So the dollar for September, you can see, was great, and we went from 73.50 all the way up here to almost 80. But then we came into October, and here we see that inverse relationship where the U.S. stock market has been great, and we've had a complete fall off of the dollar. So you can see I'm going to be watching 74. Also going to be watching that 73.50, which was tested, multiple times back in August and September, to see what happens with a complete fall off of the dollar. And it's really, like I said, now we're really getting a free fall, and we can see over here on the market profile that once we fell below 76 here, and this is where we had some volume accumulation. Once we fell below that, what happened? We just fell right on down, and now we have some accumulation here in this 75 range. So we'll see if we continue to accumulate. And we do have some releases this week. Remember, we have the FOMC on Wednesday that will certainly impact the dollar. As usual, we're starting off with the gold daily chart, and we can see that we put in basically a doji sort of inside bar. We had this great move higher that we talked about the past couple of days, and now our 1760-ish price level is holding up as resistance. You could also argue that what we have going on in here at 1750 is holding up as resistance also, with these wicks in here. But we have our line in here at 1766, so that's what we're watching. You can see a couple things. We had our consolidation, we broke out. Our downtrend line even acted as support. Notice that 20 moving average, once we really closed above that, took off. And now we're breathing a little bit. We can see that on here, our big move up here, breathed for a couple days, then another big move up, and now again we're breathing a little bit at our resistance level. So as we look forward to next week, we know that we have the FOMC release on Wednesday. So will there be another flight to gold, or will the dollar strengthen from what they say? Will there be more quantitative easing? We'll have to wait and see. But overall, we can see gold is strong. So with gold strong and a weak dollar, we look at our currency pairs. First, we have the euro dollar, and we can see this great move that we made on Thursday, hit the backside of our uptrend line on the daily. Now we put an inside bar and a doji, possibly having the 200B support now that we're through it. Of course, it's interesting that we had that big move on Thursday on lighter volume, and even lighter volume on Friday here. Overall, a beautiful uptrend here for the past month of October. Again, the inverse relationship. So when we look at this on a 1 hour time frame, we can see we were in a sell zone. Now, as we're coming back, it's going to be interesting for me. We continue to be in a sell zone to see if this little channel that I've been watching will hold up, because this 1.4 level, 1.407, it's probably going to match up right over here with that 200 moving average. So we're in a sell zone. The euro is fractionally in control. You can see the dollar made a little move up here, but they're both below zero, so we may continue. And as they were parallel and the euro fractionally in control, you can see that what that meant to our price actions. We had sideways price action. Overall, the euro has trended up, and the dollar was trending lower, but then it kind of again leveled off here. Ever so slightly, the sellers are in control. So we're in a sell zone, but if the euro can stay in control, we'll probably see more sideways action while we have some bearish signals. But if the dollar can take control, we may see a little bit more of a pullback. For the pound dollar, on the daily, now we see the 200 moving average acting as resistance, and we haven't quite made it to that uptrend line, so it's a little bit behind. Even though we have 2 updates, you kind of have an inside bar here for Friday. Again, this whole up move, light volume. We are in a sell zone once again. We have our line that we've been watching, 1.59. You know, as we scroll back and forth, you can see how 1.59 really has played into this trading. So we'll see if we can come back and see if it will be a magnet once again. We can see that the pound is ever so slightly in control, but you can see they're snaking each other, but the pound is in control, which has allowed for our price action to move up. We can see the pound averaging up with the dollar averaging lower, although leveling off. And here, ever so slightly, we can see that the buyers are trying to take control, but we'll see if the bearish probabilities of being in the sell zone and being at resistance will hold up, or will we get the volume and the catalyst to move us above the 200 moving average here in the daily. Finally, we'll look at the dollar franc on the daily chart, and we can see our support level here at 0.8543, push right on down to it. Now we make an inside bar here. You know, for our aggressive folks, there's a reversal trade coming in here with our inside bar. Or is this just a falling 3-chart pattern where we're going to break lower? And if we break lower, you know, as we talked about before, you're going to have to start looking at possibly somewhere in here, 0.822, as a target if we can break below that price level. But we can see that we're in a buy zone here, with the franc being in control, but they're converging. They're moving towards each other. So if the dollar can take control, and we're in a buy zone, that'll be good for us, possibly making a move higher probability of moving higher. But the franc is moving up, dollar is moving lower, so we may see the franc continue to be in control, which will probably bring some more sideways action until we can get some confirmation with some volume. As we come to our watch list for today, we're starting off with our low volatility watch list. This is our 1 hour time frame using Bollinger Bands, seeing if we can get a break, preferably in the direction of the trend, and we certainly did have a trend. But because of that trend that we have, we also have a ton of low volatility candidates, and this is because the market is kind of breathing after we've received all of this information. Similarly, we have a ton of inside bar watches, and that's where we're watching Friday's range and compared to Thursday's range. And again, because we had some big moves Thursday, we saw the market pause and breathe on Friday, giving us 2 very large lists of pairs to watch. Oops, forgot one. As we come to our education spotlight, I mentioned this in my stock market video. This is something we talked about Thursday, and I'm going to bring it up again. I had a couple people email me and ask me to expand on this. And for those who don't know, I do have, of course, if you come to my website, you'll find it, michaelglass.com. You'll find both our weekend stock market video and our weekend forex video. But we do have a YouTube channel dedicated just to the stock market, and that is our Ascendo Traders channel. So, and anybody that's been with us long, we started out as Ascendo Traders, and we went to Mini Trader Coach, and now we're just sitting here as Michael Glass. As far as our website name, but one thing that's been consistent, even though our website name has changed, is that our emphasis on trading plans and our emphasis on understanding the process of trading. And so I was glad to get some feedback and some requests to talk about this again. So here we are. So our primary job as a trader, of course, is to make money. And the way we do that is we look at it from two scenarios. First, we have the poker player. It's a phenomenon that's caught on the past 4 or 5 years as far as popularity being on TV. And when I watch it on ESPN or whatever channel it may be on the weekends on the game show channel, when 2 players or 3 players are in a hand, and we, as the audience watching, we know what cards they have, and they show us probabilities. And that's what you'll see professional poker players do. They put their probabilities in their favor. And they'll say, oh, this is a runner. Ace king versus a small pair. It's a race. It's a 50-50. Or I'm up 3-1, because it's a pair versus a pair. And that's what trading's all about. You have to level the playing field and get the probabilities in your favor. So how do we do that? Well, we got to start filtering our candidates. We can't just put in any stocks. We have to make sure that we filter them, and we filter them by comparing them both on a shorter time frame. I see the typo there. And then we also want to make sure we compare that on and get agreement on a longer time frame. In other words, we're in an uptrend on the daily chart. So when our 1-hour chart, our 50-minute chart, comes into agreement with that. So to add to that, we're in an uptrend on a daily chart, but we're pulling back on the 1-hour chart. When that 1-hour chart stops pulling back and reverses and agrees with the longer time frame, we have dual time frame agreement. Of course, we want to check the economic calendar and make sure that we have no releases coming out that can dramatically impact and change that reaction for that pair. And then, of course, we want to identify our risk-reward ratio. And this is one of the most overlooked steps of trading. Yet it's what really drives your trading, because it will really allow, either you're letting your probabilities work in your favor or you're shooting yourself in the foot. You have to know your risk. You have to know how much you're willing to put at risk, and you have to know your target. You have to know your reward. You have to know your entry. You have to know your exit. And you have to know your stop. You have to know these things. It doesn't have to mean that your stop has to be static, meaning it's always 20 pips or it's always 1% of your allocation, whatever. It just means you have to know what it is, and in respective to the type of trading style, the type of trading setup that you're trading, so that you're not shooting yourself in the foot. You have to let your probabilities work. You have to let your trading setup work, and that's why we always talk about documenting, so that you can see, well, my stop is at the appropriate place, or do I need to make adjustments? What would have happened if it was here, if it was there? All of these things are letting your probabilities work. And then you're looking for that final confirmation that says, all right, now it's time to pull the trigger. We filtered, we've confirmed, we know what our risk-reward ratio is, and now, boom, what's our trigger that says get into the trade? Some people use indicators, some people use volume, some people use a price level. Whatever it is for you, define it, back test it, confirm it, trade it. As you know, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And again, on YouTube, we have Move with Mike. That's really focusing on Forex. And then we have Ascendo Traders, which is focusing on the stock market, and a ton of technical analysis videos, how-to videos. We still have our free 5-video course on high probability trading. really gives you an insight on how to frame the market, what things should you should have as a part of your high probability trading. This trading process that we just went over, it expands upon that with 5 dedicated videos, not just a little 5-minute blurs, but 5 dedicated videos. And we hope that gives you insight to who we are as coaches, how we can help you develop that personalized trading plan, your personalized trading process, so that you can be a consistent and profitable trader. If you're trading Forex, why not get paid to trade? We have rebates for your trades. It doesn't change your spreads, your trading conditions, just gives you rebates for your Forex trades. And finally, if you're looking for signals, we have providers for you. Of course, you want to match them to your trading style, who you are as a trader. Get those signals, trade them for yourself, or have their accounts traded automatically. And you guys know it doesn't make a difference if you don't take the time to define who you are as a trader, or more importantly, if you don't take the time to take each trade through the process of knowing you've filtered, you've back tested, you've confirmed, you know your risk to reward ratio, and now you're ready to enter the trade. That gives you the trader's mindset and the confidence to pull the trigger on each and every trade. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.